Good morning, viewers. You're watching Quick This Morning on Republic TV. I'm Priyanka Das, and we bring you all the top stories from around the nation and across the globe. So that your first stop, let's get started with the top national stories first. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to visit Jharkhand today to launch the election campaign for the upcoming state assembly polls. During his visit, Modi will address rallies in Chaibasa and Garhwa. Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chouhan, who is overseeing the BJP's election efforts in Jharkhand, mentioned that the campaign will begin with these prominent leaders rallying in the state. Chouhan emphasized the need for a double-engine government to drive Jharkhand's development, implying that the BJP's governance at both the state and central levels would lead to greater progress. He criticized the current JMM-Congress-RJD coalition, claiming it has been ineffective in maintaining law and order and addressing development needs. Chouhan also alleged that the present administration had misused the central funds intended for welfare initiatives. Jharkhand's assembly elections are slated to occur in two phases on November 13th and November 20th, with vote counting scheduled for November 23rd. On Sunday, terrorists launched a grenade at a CRPF bunker in Srinagar, injuring 11 civilians. The attack occurred near a heavily guarded complex that houses the All India Radio and Doordarshan Kendra, just a day after security forces eliminated a top Pakistani commander of the Lashkar-e-Taiba in the Kanyar area. According to a senior police officer, the grenade missed its intended target and landed on the roadside, affecting passerby. The attack has been condemned by Chief Minister Omar Abdullah. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi expressed his dismay at the incident, stating that it reflects the ongoing attempts to destabilize the country. He emphasized that the Indian government's zero tolerance for terrorism and announced that both the Indian and Jammu and Kashmir governments will take joint action. He noted that it has been less than 20 days since the formation of the new government and warned against assigning blame as it could benefit Pakistan.
आज श्रीनगर में संडे मार्केट में ब्लास्ट हुआ है, तो ग्रेनेड अटैक हुआ है। ये तो डिस्टेबलाइज करने के लिए कुछ शक्तियां काम करते ही रहते हैं, लेकिन भारत सरकार इसमें बहुत सख्त से काम कर रहे हैं और उसके साथ ही साथ जीरो टॉलरेंस टुवर्ड्स टेररिज्म, यही पॉलिसी रख के हम आगे बढ़ेंगे।
The Supreme Court is set to review the critical issue of rising air pollution in Delhi NCR today. It will focus specifically on stubble burning, which is a major contributor to seasonal air pollution in the region. During the previous hearing, the chief secretaries of Haryana and Punjab were summoned due to the state's insufficient efforts to curb stubble burning, which exacerbates air quality issues each winter. In its comments, the Supreme Court criticized the lack of tangible improvements, noting that despite yearly orders to control pollution, there has been no significant change in the ground reality. The bench underscored the urgency of the situation and hinted at the need for stricter enforcement against violations to effectively address the crisis. Additionally, the court recommended amendments to Section 15 of the Air Act, seeking higher fines and penalties for polluters. The outcome of today's hearing could signal a pivotal step toward enforcing stricter pollution control measures in the region.
notify नहीं करेगी और उनको दूर करने के लिए कदम नहीं उठाएगी, तब तक दिल्ली में प्रदूषण की समस्या इसी प्रकार से बनी रहेगी। और इसकी सारी जिम्मेदारी, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार दिल्ली में है, तो ये समस्या उनकी है, उनको इस समस्या को सुलझाना चाहिए। लेकिन हम सब जानते हैं कि समस्याओं से दूर वो आरोप और प्रत्यारोप और अपने राजनीतिक स्वार्थ की सिद्धि में लगे रहते हैं।
The Bharatiya Janata Party has ramped up its opposition to the alleged issuance of notices by the Waqf Board to farmers regarding supposed land encroachments. In response, the party has announced a statewide protest scheduled for today, demanding an immediate halt to the notice process and calling for the removal of the Waqf Minister Zamir Ahmed Khan from the state cabinet. BJP MP Tejasvi Surya further intensified the issue by petitioning the Joint Parliamentary Committee regarding the Waqf Board Amendment Bill on 6 November 2024. He urged the JPC to intervene in what he described as a troubling situation affecting farmers across the state.
This is nothing but politically motivated. I just want to ask Mr. Surya and the rest of the BJP a couple of questions, simple questions. During their tenure, did Waqf lock its doors? Was it shut? There was nothing happening during the BJP tenure. So there is a procedure, right? There is a Revenue Act, there is a Land Reforms Act, there is a Waqf Act. You can't just go and start taking any property or anybody's property.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath on Sunday called on Prime Minister Narendra Modi for a meeting which comes amid the state government's preparations for the Mahakumbh in January and the November 13 Assembly by-polls. The Uttar Pradesh government is making all-out administrative efforts to arrange for the Mahakumbh, which is likely to draw millions of tourists from across the country and different parts of the world. The by-polls to 9 assembly seats are also being seen as a litmus test for the BJP party after they suffered a significant setback in the Lok Sabha polls. Security forces have launched a massive anti-terror operation in Jammu and Rajouri, targeting the traditional infiltration routes used by the terrorists. The operation comes after intelligence reports indicated that terrorists have revived old routes in Akhnoor, posing a significant threat to national security. The operation will focus on the Chowki Chora area along the Jammu and Rajouri border, known to be a vulnerable spot for terrorist infiltration. This move aims to thwart potential terror attacks and ensure the safety of civilians in the region. In recent months, Jammu and Kashmir has witnessed a surge in terror activities, including attacks on security personnel and civilians. Train movement on the Bangaal-Sialdah branch-up line was temporarily halted after a lantern balloon became entangled in the train's overhead wire. The incident occurred shortly after the train departed Gobardanga station en route to Barasat. As the train entered Habra, a fire ignited in the power line, prompting the driver to take swift action and bring the train to a stop at Habra station. Emergency response was immediate, with railway engineers and repair crews deployed to address the situation. Due to the incident, several trains were stranded at multiple stations, with the affected train halted at Habra for approximately 30 minutes. However, now time for a quick look at the top stories from the world of business. Foreign investors pulled out a massive rupees 94,000 crore from the Indian stock market in October, making it the worst ever month in terms of outflows. Several factors contributed towards this massive withdrawal of foreign capital from the Indian equity markets in October. The major among them is the elevated valuations of Indian equities. This has triggered a shift in investments towards China, where valuations are currently more attractive. Additionally, a series of stimulus measures aimed at bolstering Chinese economic growth has made Chinese equities increasingly appealing to the global investors. The latest outflow came after a 9-month high investment of rupees 57,724 crore in September 2024. On the domestic front, key indicators like inflation trajectory, corporate earnings, and the impact of the festive season demand will also be watched by the FPIs as they assess opportunities in the Indian market. Markets regulator SEBI has proposed a minimum ticket size or investment threshold of rupees 1 crore for the RBI. Regulated originators and unregulated entities engaged in securitization activities. The proposal also introduced limitations on the number of investors in private placements, allowing securitized debt instruments issued privately to be offered to a maximum of 200 investors. Public offers should remain open for a minimum of 3 days and a maximum of 10 days, with advertisement requirements aligned with SEBI's regulations for non-convertible securities. Additionally, the regulator has suggested that all securitized debt instruments should be issued and transferred exclusively in demat form. According to the World Bank Group, the commodity prices in the international markets will decrease by 5% in 2025 and 2% in 2026, following a 3% decline this year, reaching their lowest level since 2020. A decline in oil prices will support the downward trend of commodity prices, while increases in natural gas prices and stable outlooks for metals and agricultural commodities will temper the overall decline. The report adds that annual average oil prices are expected to decline for 4 consecutive years through to 2026 from their 2022 high, and it will settle slightly above the 2021 level. The projected price drop reflects a combination of factors, including slower global oil demand, especially from China, diversified oil production. However, it highlighted that the possibility of escalating war in the Middle East will be a short-term risk that could push prices higher and impact other commodity markets. In metals markets, the outlook remained relatively stable. Food prices overall are expected to ease further, which could help improve the affordability in emerging markets. Apple has solidified its position as the leading brand in global tablet shipments during the third quarter of 2024. Despite increase in units shipped, Apple's market share saw a decline, dropping to 31.7%. This decrease can be attributed to the intensified competition in the tablet market. Samsung secured the second position in the global tablet market, recording 7.1 million shipments during the quarter. In terms of the market rankings, Amazon claimed the third position, achieving 4.6 million tablet shipments in the third quarter. This marked a remarkable turnaround for the company, as it reported a staggering 111.3% year-on-year growth. This surge in shipments signifies a healthy demand for tablet devices across various consumer segments. Union Defence Minister Shivraj Singh on Sunday expressed confidence that the country will export more than Rs 50,000 crore defence items by 2029-30. He stated that the government's push for self-reliance is producing positive outcomes, as defence exports have surged from approximately Rs 600 crore a decade ago to a record 21,000 crore rupees in 2023-24. Defence Minister called upon the Indian youth to indigenously develop high-end technology which the country imports to realize Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of Viksit Bharat. He described technology as the biggest factor behind the rapid changes taking place in every field today, with such as artificial intelligence to establish an edge in the current geopolitical scenario. Shivraj Singh stated that the nation is today surging towards a position of top position in technological advancements. Now time for a quick look at the top stories that are making headlines across the globe. Prices of basic goods in Gaza have skyrocketed since the Israel-Hamas war erupted last year. Most Palestinians living in the war-ravaged enclave have been displaced and are without work, relying on the thin stream of humanitarian aid that is trickling in. The availability of goods in Gaza could fall further in the coming months following the Israeli parliament's decision to restrict operations of the United Nations agency helping Palestinian refugees. Protesters expressed frustration of the lack of essential goods in the markets, highlighting that what used to be readily available, like cheese, is now absent. Instead, people are left with overpriced cleaning supplies, while basic vegetables like eggplants and potatoes have become unaffordable. They also criticize the quality of bread, claiming that it is made from flour infested with worms and insects, deeming it unsuitable for consumption. According to Lebanon's health ministry, 3 people were killed in an Israeli airstrike on a suburb in South Lebanon on Sunday, marking the third attack on the area in the past 2 weeks. The strike, which targeted an apartment, also injured 9 others. The intended target remains unclear, and no evacuation warning was issued by the Israeli military before the strike. Residents stated that this was a residential area unrelated to the war or missile attacks. They emphasized that innocent people, including women and children, were targeted, despite having no involvement in the conflict. On Sunday, angry protesters left red handprints at the entrances of government buildings in Belgrade, demanding the arrest of officials, following a tragic incident where a concrete canopy collapsed at a railway station, resulting in 14 deaths and 3 injuries. Police established a cordon outside the Ministry of Construction and Infrastructure as thousands of demonstrators called for the resignation of high-ranking officials, including Prime Minister Milos Vučević, who they also called for the resignation of the Minister of Construction, Transport and Infrastructure, holding him accountable for the incident. In response, Serbia's populist government has pledged a comprehensive investigation, with prosecutors already having questioned more than 25 individuals. Officials have stated that the canopy was not part of the ongoing renovation work, but have not clarified why the work was not completed. On Saturday, former President Donald Trump held one of his numerous rallies during the final weekend of the campaign, focusing on issues of crime and immigration. Speaking to a crowd in Greensboro, North Carolina, he vowed to end illegal immigration once and for all and promised to tackle inflation while addressing what he described as a massive influx of criminals into the country. Trump expressed his commitment to restoring the American dream and declared that November 5, 2024 would be Liberation Day for America. He stated that on his first day in the office, he would initiate the largest criminal deportation program in U.S. history, swiftly removing criminals from the country. He asserted that he would work to rescue cities and towns that have been invaded and ensure that violent criminals are either imprisoned or expelled from the country. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris was joined by actress Kerry Washington and rocker Jon Bon Jovi at a rally in Charlotte, North Carolina on Sunday. Kerry Washington emphasized the importance of the individual action during her visit, stating that the future of the country and the integrity of democracy rely on the audience, not on fictional characters like Olivia Pope. Washington urged everyone to take responsibility by reaching out to their loved ones, asking about their concerns and understanding their issues. She expressed confidence that Kamala Harris has concrete plans to improve their lives, contrasting these real solutions with mere concepts.
I want you to reach out to the folks that you love most. I want you to ask them what they're thinking about. What are they worried about? What's on their heart? Because whatever issue they care about, here's what I know. Kamala Harris has a better plan to improve your life and the lives of the people you love. Kamala Harris has real plans, not concepts of a plan.
On the final Sunday of a roller coaster presidential campaign, Republican nominee Donald Trump asked voters again to make him leader of a failed nation. The former president, speaking at an outdoor rally in Pennsylvania, deviated from his recent focus on the economy, immigration, and his more routine criticisms of Democratic rival Kamala Harris. Instead, Trump relaunched criticisms of voting procedures across the nation. Trump argued for the implementation of paper ballots, strict voter ID laws, and a commitment to wrap up elections as quickly as possible. He expressed frustration over reports that results could take weeks, questioning how, after spending so much on voting machines, they could extend the counting period by an additional 12 days. He highlighted the potential risks during that waiting period, calling the country crooked and emphasizing the need to correct it. Trump acknowledged the difficulty of this task, suggesting that those who push for reform might face jail time for speaking out against election fraud. He found motivation in the challenges they face, believing it demonstrates the necessity for change. He stressed the importance of winning the upcoming election, noting that after 9 years of effort, it all comes down to these last 2 days.
It's a crooked country, and we're going to make it straight. We're going to make it straight, and it's not an easy thing to do. They'll want to put you in jail because you want to make it straight. Think of it. Think of it. They cheated elections, and you call them on it, and they want to put you in jail. Think about it. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen, but I love it. You know why? Because we've proven something, we've shown something, and we're going to get it fixed, and we got to win this election. It's all up to now. I mean, we got 2 days. We've been working for 9 years. We did a great job.
Severe storms and reported tornadoes overnight in Oklahoma ripped roofs of buildings and left about 86,000 homes and businesses without power. According to reports, 6 people were injured. At the University of Oklahoma, school officials urged students and staff to seek shelter and move to the lowest floor as the storms approached campus after midnight. Viewers, it's time for us to take a short break. Lots more coming up on the other side. From the sports world to entertainment and a lot more, so stay tuned.
و ملت ایران به نسبت به جبهه مقاومت انجام میدن قطعاً پاسخ دندان شکنی رو دریافت خواهند کرد. و ملت ایران به نسبت به جبهه مقاومت انجام میدن قطعاً پاسخ دندان شکنی رو دریافت خواهند کرد.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching Quick This Morning. I'm Priyanka Das, and here are the top stories from the world of sports. Take a look. India succumbed to a 25-run defeat in the third and final test of the series as New Zealand complete clean sweep against India to win series 3-0. With the defeat, India have lost out on the top spot of the WTC points table, which they had held coming into the series. Their points percentage has slipped from 62.82 to 58.33, moving below Australia, who are now seated at the top with a PCT of 62.5. This marks the first time in 91 years that India has been whitewashed in a test series of 3 or more games on home soil. India's batting order proved to be one of the major reasons for India's defeat in the series. The Board of Control for Cricket in India is set to evaluate the future of 4 senior India players after the Australia tour. Following a shocking 0-3 loss to New Zealand at home, the series against Australia could be the last for 2 of the at least 4 seniors, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja and Ravichandran Ashwin, who are at the back end of their careers. Star batter Rohit Sharma registered an unwanted record as he became the first India skipper to concede a 0-3 defeat at home. In the third match of the Test series against New Zealand, Ajaz Patel and Glenn Phillips unleashed a spin wave on the Indian batter, spinning them towards history as New Zealand beat India by 25 runs to become the first visiting side to whitewash India on its soil. India can still qualify for the WTC final without being dependent on other results if they win the 5-match away Test series against Australia by a margin of 4-0. If they have to remain self-dependent, the men in blue can't afford to drop a test now with 4 minimum wins required. That is the only series left for them. Team India's woeful performance against New Zealand in the entirety of the 3-match Test series calls for introspection. According to India's batting legend Sachin Tendulkar, the 0-3 whitewash is arguably one of the most excruciating defeats suffered by the Indian cricket for its long, illustrious history. As the magnitude of the loss is huge, the biggest of the stalwarts are also having a say on the drubbing and offering advice on what should be done next. India has decided to cancel a planned 3-day intra-squad match with A side during the upcoming Test tour of Australia, as the team management wants to focus on additional net practice to prepare for the marquee 5-match showdown starting November 22nd in Perth. Melbourne Cricket Ground in Australia is set to host the first ODI between Australia and Pakistan. Both sides have faced each other at the same venue in 14 ODI games in the past, out of which Australia won 10 games while Pakistan won 4 matches. Hence, the home team has an upper hand over the visitors at the venue. Sri Lanka were crowned champions after they defeated Pakistan by 3 wickets. Being out into bat, Pakistan were bowled out for 72 in 5.2 overs. Muhammad Akhlaq top scored with 48 of 20. Later, Pakistan bowlers did create some pressure in the starting of the chase, but the Lankan Lions soon pushed the paddle. Now, time for a quick look at the top stories from the world of entertainment. Let's get started. British prosecutors have received a file of evidence from police regarding alleged sexual offences involving comedian Russell Brand and are now deliberating whether to file charges. Metropolitan Police in London has interviewed the 49-year-old Brand 3 times in connection with non-recent sexual offences. Detective Superintendent Andy Furphy, who is overseeing the investigation, stated that a dedicated team of officers is providing support to the women who have come forward. He emphasized their commitment to investigating sexual offences regardless of when they are said to have occurred. Brand, who is also an author and actor known for his role in Get Him to the Greek, has denied the allegations, asserting that his relationships were always consensual. Emily Mortimer expressed admiration for the spirit of tolerance and kindness that is embodied in the Paddington film. She highlighted its significance, especially in today's divided climate with an upcoming election in the US. Mortimer noted the excitement of being a part of a movie that appeals to families of all ages, emphasizing that it transcends political differences and provides a unifying experience that feels almost radical in the current context. Emily Mortimer joins the cast as Mrs. Brown, taking over from Sally Hawkins, who played her in the first 2 films. Ben Whishaw shared that while it wasn't an obvious choice, he felt that the completing of a trilogy was important to him and he didn't want anyone else to take on the role. He expressed his admiration for director Doug Wilson, noting his excellent work. Antonio Banderas added that Paddington embodies qualities the world desperately needs, such as kindness, understanding, cleverness, and sweetness. He emphasized the importance of instilling these values in children, hoping to inspire a resurgence of these qualities.
I just think that there's an amazing spirit of sort of tolerance and kindness and not taking things too seriously but being endlessly curious that he imbues that's really important for this moment especially, but for all time, you know, but particularly in this divided moment with an election coming in America in tomorrow, 2 days, it feels like very exciting to be in a film that
Kannada film Bagheera, starring Sri Murli and Rukmini Vasant, hit the screens on October 31st. The movie, which released on the occasion of Diwali, has received good response from the netizens and critics alike. The movie has amassed a total of Rs 9.85 crore at the domestic box office. Amid the film's release, a new controversy has emerged, which is now being circulated on social media. Now, as per netizens, the film now only reduced to 1 screen in Hyderabad, which has led to massive uproar in Karnataka. Netizens in Karnataka expressed on social media that when Allu Arjun and Rashmika Mandanna star of Pushpa 2 will release, it will be boycotted by them. Prabhas is making long strides in his career and has a massive lineup of projects. The actor recently earned praise for his latest sci-fi thriller Kalki 2898 AD, which created records at the box office. In the latest development, Prashant Verma has reportedly approached the actor for film Brahma Rakshasa. Looks like Ranveer Singh's Tollywood debut appears to have run into a problem. The film, which was supposed to be a grand debut for the Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani actor, will now be replaced by none other than Prabhas. Rumors suggest that Prabhas has repeatedly heard the story. He's not yet given a positive response and has kept it on hold for now. Bhojpuri actor and singer Keshri Lal Yadav recently made headlines with his playful comment regarding Diljit Dosanjh's much-publicized Dilluminati India concert. The tour, which spanned several Indian cities, attracted huge audiences and featured Diljit's signature high-energy performances. However, Kesari couldn't resist taking a cheeky jab at the name of the Punjabi star's concert. He released a video where he addressed the crowd, urging them to raise their hands in celebration and proclaim their pride in their roads, particularly on the auspicious occasion of Diwali. While Kesari's message resonated with his fans, it was the caption that hinted at an indirect dig at Diljit Dosanjh's concert name. For the unbuzzed, Diljit is also speculated to be a part of the controversial Illuminati Society. That's all we have in today's edition of Quick This Morning, but don't go anywhere as more news and updates continue on the other side. Keep watching Republic TV.